Here we are today in the greenhouse on Sunday. How you doing? I'm Sandy Shellis with no frills, no bells and whistles, just me and papers and playing with this and my hand and making sure you can see. But here we go. So I'm going to start out with my drink. Good morning, Kim. I'm waiting for people because it's not set up, so it is what it is. So here's my drink. I save these glass jars, right? Well, guess what I have? I have flexible straws. These are flexible, all natural, 36 count, and eco-friendly compostable alternative to plastic, right? Okay. It is biodegradable. It says strong, and it's made from cornstarch. So these straws are made from renewable materials and eco-friendly compostable alternative to plastic. Now, I did not buy these. These were given to me. So I thought I'd start with testing the straws while people join me. I thought it would be fun. And then we're doing good old-fashioned paper. Why not? Just like the old days. I know you can hear me because I tested. And I don't need two headphones because I got nothing to play. All right, so here we go. The first one actually failed. It failed. So I put it in and it was I think it said, right? It said flexible straws. Flexible straws. This is probably backwards on this camera, but it failed and I went to do it. And guess what? Okay, nothing. Can't do it. Can't drink from it. So there's one for the new testing compost. This one, I'm going to put this one in and let's see. This one, great. Flexible, don't pull on it. But I will start testing in a separate small compost with leaves and soil because somebody who evidently thought that I was that type of person said, have these. And I have about, I don't know, 6, 8 boxes of them because they're probably left over from 2018 when I had a party. I had a shindig. So let's go. Does anybody know? Oh, and by the way, I have my emotional support butternut squash, who isn't doing very well. I didn't give this squash too much emotional support, so I think that I have just about killed the emotional support squash. Who knows what an axolotls, an axolotl. This is an axolotl. See it? Okay. This is an axolotl. This is a salamander. And these salamanders are indigenous to Mexico. But where do they live now? They live in kids' fucking fish tanks all over the country. Breeders, pet stores, but they are extinct in Mexico. They are also used for medical studies too. These are really, they're cute little things. I mean, but they are living things nonetheless. Okay, so these little guys, right? These little guys, because of the game Minecraft, which I listened to a ton of videos on Minecraft. I haven't played it. I wanted to understand it. And TikTok, which I have a really good article, which I'm going to do. Yes, I do, Gary. Gary asked if I compost my coffee grounds. Oh, yeah. I even learned hi, Bila. Hi, everybody. I even learned I can compost paper bags that are recycled paper bags. I have a new thing. I'm going to try something else. Anyway, we're going to go. This little axolotl is so cute. And because this is like okay, I'm doing a live stream. This is 2015, but it's not because I don't look like that. So there's that little guy. He's so cute. Yes, and I don't want to screech because God forbid I make anybody's ears bleed like the comment that was left for me and have that person have to take off their headphones because I made their ears bleed. Thank you, Earth. I thought it was hilarious. I have a very good sense of humor. So the axolotl, this guy it's an unusual amphibian. They reach adulthood without undergoing metamorphosis. Instead of taking to the land, Adults remain aquatic and gilled. The species was originally found in several lakes underlying what is now Mexico City, but no more, no more. So because these kids are playing this game, Minecraft, which, you know, I'll get there. The example from the game, because in the game, Minecraft, there is a whole section that you can use to build these guys. Hi, Philby. To build these guys, these things. But then they get them. They get the real ones. So, New Zealand pet shelters are being swamped with axolotls. Are Minecraft and TikTok to blame? So, in New Zealand, there is an amphibian rescue. There is a rescue for every kind of animal. Yesterday, I passed a goat rescue. On my way back from Buffalo to see my lovely daughter who moved back and help her move. Hello, hello. So, yes, Rich says God made all the animals like playthings when we're not eating them. Jesus. All right. This person, but it's a reptile and animal rescue in Dunedin. She said she has 2,000 of these guys in her care after 600 of the creatures had arrived last week. So if anyone is looking for an axolotl, feel free to send them my way. So it's basically they go in, they're like, you keep them in fish tanks. They like 20 gallons of water. I had fish tanks. And when I started doing this and reading all about the axolotls, I started to feel really sad because back when my daughter was little, the kids, it was iguanas. You know, the big exotic pet breed. It was iguanas, and God knows, it was like a slaughter and genocide of iguanas. I mean, it's sad to breed these things. And I realized my fish, you know, they were bred for my whatever it was, 70-gallon big one in the living room at the time, you know, fish tanks, dogs. But now I have such a different view of things because of the way my worldview has changed, which we change and we grow. And really quickly, I'm going to send this out to Bila, formerly Osama number 5, Shalal, my friend, who set up the office and was my guest. I am deeply sorry for your loss. And all of the platforms and all of the people with these platforms, we all feel the same way, okay? So, Bila lost his mom, and he's a wonderful friend to us, to our channel, to all of you. So, we're there with you. So we can go back to the axolotls. And they're very cute, but they're very colorful, I guess. And people were, you know, I watched these videos on them, and they get like a million views, 1.5 million views on these little aquatic salamanders, which will be like, you know, the ferret, but it's in water. It's the ferret of the water. Who knows? But I guess I'm so tired of all this, and I was part of it. I mean, I'm still part of it. But my cats, they're mammals, but they're rescues. None of them were bred. It was neglect. That is the reason I have these animals, and I care for them, and I love them. And that's what you can do, you know. And that's what these rescues do. They care for and love these animals that, I mean, a goat rescue, you know, that's the farmers who can't afford the feed. I see it. I had to come home yesterday, and when I was driving around, I had a guest, went to Letchworth State Park, and then you see all the farms and the corn, and it's, wow. When I was driving home last night, it was getting dark. They were out there with their big planet-eating machines cutting down the corn for feed for the animals. It's because it has dried out. They let it dry out, so it's like and then the big trucks come, they dump it on there, and they, whatever they do, it turns into some kind of feed for these animals. But these guys, these axolotls, they are considered critically endangered in the wild. No shit, Sherlock. I don't have a button. I don't have a sound effect out here except for nothing. Listen. Okay, you hear a car. You heard a car. best way to find a pet. Yeah, I know they wandered onto my deck or, found them in State Park. People neglect our people are horrible. Not you guys. So these axolotls, the creatures have been hit on TikTok, where their hashtag has accumulated 2.6 billion views. So there are cartoon axolotls that players, they battle these cartoon things. And I am, I guess I'm glad I'm old. I guess I'm because it's just a future, and I don't want to sound like an old person, but I fear for the future. I fear for the future of these kids, and I see them, and I know gamers. I follow a couple of gamers, and they are conscious of what they eat, and they are conscious. It's the show Above It All. She is conscious of what she eats. She's conscious of her game time, and getting exercise. So that's a good thing. But there's millions that aren't. And I see the future of Meta and the headset. I feel like muscles are going to. Whoop. Sorry, just a second. Okay, I feel like muscles, you have your muscle, you work out, you work outside, you do your thing, you got muscles. Well, I feel like they're going to be gone. Muscles are going to be a thing of the past for these people. I don't know. Dan, we have many reasons to fear the future if the present is any indication. Well, we know where we are. And just reading about this and that they actually then started breeding these things and people took them home, and if they don't separate them, let's say they bought two but they didn't understand how the animals work, they didn't separate them, then of course there's breeding. Okay, and nobody's going to just flush them down the toilet. Well, we don't know that, right? They have a pretty big toilet. I mean, no, but they're cute. And they have specific needs. It's an everyday care, and it's awful. Animal care experts say owners are naive about the commitment involved, of course. So right at the time that Minecraft introduced the capability of spawning said axolotls in the program, there were concerns at that point about demands kids were then making to their parents about getting the real deal. Okay. So parents all over, not just in the United States. New Zealand has the goddamn rescue. All right, so I'm not going to read the rest of this. You can understand it, but I've got an article I'm going to read. Let's see, we've been 13 minutes and only 22 people. Who cares? You know what? 22 quality, wonderful followers of Environmental Coffee House on a Sunday afternoon. I love it. Hi, Benny Loco. So this is TikTok is now way worse than you thought. And we already know I'm not on TikTok. Environmental Coffee House is not on TikTok. I will not be on TikTok. I hardly ever make shorts. I mean, obviously, we make longs. Me and Jennifer, we make longs. But, okay, so TikTok is now way worse than you thought. Reminder to all parents, take your kids' phones away. And if you don't have kids, I'm adding don't have any. Because they're going to be in a meta universe and climate change is going to encroach all around them, and they're going to be on their headsets and they're not even going to know what happens when they can't breathe unless they build in breathing things. Yeah, they might just I need my emotional support. Butternut squash right now, just thinking of that. I'm not going to be a grandparent, so I don't have to worry about my immediate evolutionary chain. All right, pink sauce. Sounds appetizing, right? What if I told you that this pink sauce, and this is the article, can you see it, or is it, it's probably backwards. It's got to be backwards because this is a phone. What if I told you this pink sauce is actually a combination of sunflower seed oil, raw honey, unrefrigerated milk, and vinegar, which is actually misspelled on the label? Maybe you'd avoid pink sauce entirely. Smart move. Unfortunately, that wasn't the conclusion that thousands of children who follow the TikTok creator selling this. So there was a pink sauce, okay? Today, these same kids are heading to the hospital with Pink diarrhea. Isn't that nice? Here's Ashley O on a roll. She got her pink sauce and she knows what she's doing and she's laying in the bathtub. Unless it could be a photographic editor. She's probably not really. But TikTok is like a digital version of peer pressure. You see somebody doing something stupid and you think, well, if they're doing it, it must be okay. But this is all just the tip of the iceberg. Sadly, no TikToker will ever read this article because it's longer than 15 seconds. But here's why you should delete the app immediately. And we will not be on it. Nope. We have our 4 little things. And I'm considering even the ones that we are on. And I know Google and YouTube are bad enough, but I'm not sure I even want Facebook. And I say this all the time, and we still stream to Facebook. And we started streaming to Twitch where nobody watches us, which is a gaming channel. But it's a little different than TikTok. Sadly, no TikToker is going to read this. So, be famous doing something truly worthless to society. TikTok is efficiently lowering the attention span of an entire generation. The app is designed, God, to be as addictive as possible, like digital cocaine. And today, the average user spends 52 minutes a day on the app. But TikTok is global. So if younger generations are getting dumber and losing the ability to focus, aren't we all doing that together? At least? Nope. If you look at the top 10 TikTok influences in China versus America, you will see very different pictures. Two very different pictures. In America, the top influencers are lip syncing artists, dance challenge connoisseurs, and internet pranksters. In China, the top influencers are artists, chefs, actors, and entrepreneurs. Podcaster comedian Andrew Schultz made this point recently. We shouldn't want, can you see it, the picture? Okay, so we shouldn't want some other country's tech influencing us. In China, the way the algorithm works is that it doesn't reward people doing stupid dances and playing with their dog. The algorithm rewards things that they want to see their youth do. Cool engineering, cool science. But in America, it rewards twerking, stupid dances, and things that are truly worthless to society. Okay, China runs its country like a corporation, and in doing so, they have an actual financial stake in TikTok. That's like the United States owning a piece of Facebook or Google and being able to influence what content is pushed. I would play the conspiracy music now. Do, 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 do. This is by Isaiah McCall, and I found it on Medium, by the way. All right, so that's like in the United States, it's not a conspiracy. It's just business. And China is very good at business, propaganda, and censorship, to say the least. And the president has now been appointed, by the way, for another 5 years by the Chinese Communist Party. We'll drink to that. The algorithm is destroying humanity. Americans have the memory of a goldfish. When the 2020 Netflix documentary, The Social Dilemma, came out, it was a much needed wake-up call to the general public about how social media is negatively affecting our mental health and society as a whole. Then everyone forgot about it. On to the next thing. Who cares? Well, I try to think of ways not to do that, obviously. The Social Dilemma revealed that our U.S.-based social media platforms take advantage of us. So why would China be any different, if not worse? Moreover, the scariest thing that came out of that documentary was not that our data is being sold. It's that algorithms are being used to control what we see. Ooh, yes, it is. You can get around that. I do all the time. I see only what I want. Moreover, the scariest thing, right, it's sold. Okay, and that's why it should terrify you that China, a country ranked at the bottom of the International Freedom Index, is in control of what content is promoted on TikTok. All right, so China increases spending 500% to influence America. Nationalism is the most powerful political ideology on the planet. And that's every country, right? We invent these concepts of national identity that are filled with myths and legends and propaganda that sometimes has no bearing on reality. And sometimes we even go to war over them. Every country has it to some degree. It's also why Chinese influencers and politicians have literally, and I quote, said that the West is decadent and rotten to the core. We are decadent. Yes, we are so rotten. We are rotten to the core. My poor emotional support. Butternut squash. But, you know, this has led to China targeting our ideas, innovation, intellectual property, and our children on a scale that is unprecedented. And it's true when you look at it, and it's not being a China racist or I'm not reading this because, you know, I want to have horrible things happen to Chinese people in the United States. That's fucking stupid. That's not why I'm reading this. Okay, but don't get it twisted. This article isn't about, so the app has Chinese roots, therefore it must be suspicious. If any government owned a significant stake in a social media platform that was being used by over 1 billion people, 1 billion people, I've got 29 people watching, which is great. 1 billion people watching your ass twerk. But China's different. They are a global superpower that's ruled by a dictator. In fact, the Chinese government owns a stake in one of the most divisive, attention-grabbing, and addictive apps on the planet doesn't scare you. You're not even in the game. And I don't know if he talks. I forgot. I read it like last week. In a report, well, when did I read this? Yeah, I read it last week because this is from July. I just printed it out today. In a report published last week by the Australian U.S. cybersecurity firm Internet 2.0, researchers broke down TikTok's loose privacy practices, highlighting how the app tracks users' every move using it. The report's author, Thomas Perkins, writes, in our analysis, the TikTok mobile application does not prioritize privacy. Permissions and device information collection are overly intrusive and not necessary for the application to function. So, also of note is that TikTok iOS 2.5.11 has a server connection to mainland China, which is run by a top 100 Chinese cybersecurity and data company, Gizu Bishan Cloud Technology, Ltd. Perkins adds that TikTok attempts to assess an array of features it doesn't need to function, such as keystroke patterns and rhythms, other running applications, Wi-Fi networks, device location, and SIM card serial numbers. And I watched 2 videos that did kind of say this, but like everything on social media, including me reading a Medium article, grain of salt. For the TikTok application to function properly, most of the access and device data collection is not. This leads us to believe that the only reason this information has been gathered is for data harvesting. It's also notable, hey, rabbit just ran by. It's also notable that the device only needs to ask the user for permission to perform each of these actions once and then follow the user's preferences. So the application, however, has a culture of persistent access or continually asking for a decision refusal by the user. The hourly checking of location is also unnecessary. Turn your location off on your fucking phone except you need it. And when do you need it? I don't even use my phone for GPS. It's in the truck. So whoever's following me is following me anyway. And why would they care about me? Although my friend says that we're all on a list. Some kind of list. All right. I'm on the crazy cat lady. That's the list. The crazy cat lady with purple hair list. My neighbor even said it. I wrote last month that YouTube would be surpassed by TikTok. TikTok was capturing the younger audience YouTube was losing. So it's now YouTube is us senior citizens, right? And it looked like an unstoppable force. I hope I'm wrong. I still have my qualms about YouTube, but in comparison, TikTok makes YouTube look like a universal library full of world's knowledge. Among the top YouTubers are erudite podcasters, documentarians, and educational content by professors, Bollywood videos, professional gaming, and historians for any niche topic you could imagine. And then there's TikTok. I know someone will comment on this article with their sweaty Cheeto stained fingers. Yeah, but TikTok has the same educational content that YouTube has too, loser. The difference is that on YouTube, a large majority of the videos have some sort of intellectual stimulation. I'm stimulating you intellectually, say. On TikTok, however, that's a rounding error. It's making the youth dumber, meaner, and more tribal. It's a platform that is purposely, engineered to be addictive. So everybody's going to scream about fentanyl. Our country's kind of fucked. When Joe Biden and Donald Trump both agree on something, you know it's bad. And they both agree that TikTok is not only a national security risk, but also a danger to the mental health of children. So if you're still using TikTok, I implore you to delete the app and never look back. Or don't. I don't care. I'm just some guy on the internet. But if you want to keep using TikTok, at least admit it's turning you into a brainless idiot. We all have our voices. Just be honest about yours. And this guy, he says, make sure to hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon, and follow my TikTok for more tasteless, salacious stories, which was a joke. All right, so his name is Isaiah McCall, and I'll when I edit this, I'll put him in this article. I'll put the link in the article. It's very warm today. It's got to be at least probably like 75 or 80 degrees in here. And I have told you about the story about how this melted because in April we had a heat wave and all my seeds kind of went the way of this piece of plastic shit. So I'm going to start things differently. Keep boxes. I'm not going to use as much of that crap, And there's recycling. Useless bullshit. So guys, I can see just a little bit of the chat because again, this is rudimentary. I wanted to open your eyes to this stuff. And obviously I think a lot of you have open eyes. I was watching, and this is to the vegans out there. I was watching Ellie. She is a Russian, and her YouTube videos are fascinating, and she shows culture all over Russia. She traveled, and there's one town where they have horse meat soup and they drink horse milk. So if you think it's bad in the United States, the rest of the world, you can't control it. People are going to do what they're going to do. They're going to eat their animals. They're going to drink their horse milk. They're going to drink their cow milk. And I don't know, we can do what we can do for ourselves. We can do, make our choices not to. We can gladly accept gifts of forever flexible straws from people that came to a party and thought I was that person, which I probably am. All right. So thank you very much. And let's see if I can read any of your comments. I don't know. I can't really, but vegetables for the rest of their lives. Hello, Rollins Witch was my visitor. Very pleasant. And next summer, I hope I can have maybe a tiny house. Maybe, we'll see. Environmental coffee house, B&B. I don't think so. I have too much. Okay. Yeah, don't get me started on traditional Chinese relying on animals not native to China. Oh, it's also sad. And I know we could go we could go down rabbit holes. I only wanted to bring you just slightly, tell your kids or if you have grandkids, maybe they shouldn't be on so much social media because that meta thing is coming and it's scary. You're going to put on that thing. These fucking kids are never going to go outside and they are going to be consumed and they will take that climate anxiety we did our show on. and they will be consumed with escapism. And I see it coming. And what happens when they dumb down the universities? Oh my goodness. And that's happening too. So dumb down the universities, dumb down the population, put headsets on them and teach them to make shit and pay them minimum wage. And we have a blind walk right in to the apocalypse. You have a great day, everybody. Thank you for coming. Don't forget or buy me a coffee. Don't forget Tuesday night with Jennifer. Thank you so much. I'm going to edit this, and then I am going off to finish what I started, and I am putting garden beds to rest for the season, and compost shoveling and cart dragging and back breaking, hurting stuff, which I hope Tuesday night I'll be in good shape. So peace out, and thank you, everybody. I have to figure a way to shut this thing off without the finger, but hey, we're back in 2015 or even 13. Bye, guys. Finger says, like Vegematic says, what is peace? What is peace? What is peace to you? And go to Veg's channel and subscribe.